way Gangsta Grillz came about was that I just kind of came up with the name. Me and Sense was sitting in my living room one day, and I needed a new title. And I said it, and he was like, "Yeah, sounds good." So originally the tape was just a regular series. I was still kind of hustling on myself. When I got to I did 2 of them. I did Gangsta Grillz 2. And then I had I was looking for somebody to host it. So I asked 3 different artists. 2 of them who are no longer that relevant told me no, and Little John told me yes. Me and Sense used to live at this crib at 532 Glen Iris Drive. Everybody used to come through there. T.I., Jeezy, Ludacris, Monica, Little John. So he came through and did the Gangsta Grillz drop. So I actually had told him to do 4 because I forgot I didn't do it instead of doing 3. So there's no 3 that exists. So I told him to do 4. He hosted it. The next tape, I didn't have no host. Everybody was like, "Well, you're gonna have to host it." So I didn't have nobody, so I just used Little John's voice again. And hence how the drop was born. A couple tapes later, Jason Jeter, who had already known, we had already linked up, came in. I met Jay Jeter, called me off the back of my CD. He had said he got from the barbershop and was like, "Yo, I got a new artist named T.I. He signed to Arista. He's at a record with Beanie Siegel. I want to bring him through your crib." So this was early 2000. So we had already kind of linked up, knew each other, and so forth. And he came to me and said, Tip had got dropped from the label at this point. They were doing their mixtape things. Jason Jeter being from Jersey, kind of knew the mixtape grind of up top and was using somewhat of the same formula I was. And he was like, "Let's do a collaboration tape, just all Grand Hustle and Tip." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, let's do it, of course." And at the time when he told me, I don't even think I really realized that he was giving me the opportunity to do what my goal was to really create, a body of work that was just that body of work, not a compilation, not some of the same songs so-and-so has, what I'm saying, like Gangsta Grillz, T.I., PSC, DJ Drama. This is like an album, and a street album. So that was when Gangsta Grillz changed, the T.I., PSC in the streets. That was the first one that was like an album with exclusive music, and I was talking about it earlier on that tape. I clearly tell Tip on the phone, let's join forces, affiliates, Grand Hustle, let's start a revolution. And even at the end of it, I talked in a little bit more slick shit, but basically was just saying this is just the beginning. I mean, little did I know I was really telling the truth. But after that, it just, everything started moving. The brand was already there. Tip was on his way to being one of the biggest stars in the South and biggest stars in hip hop. And I started getting phone calls. Got a call from Bun B. He had seen what I was doing. He wanted to work. My man Coach K brought this new cat, Young Jeezy, to me and was like, showed me his vision. Jeezy, the first Jeezy tape I did, that was the first tape I ever got paid for. I ever got a check for from Jeezy, and he was brand new at that time. Just had changed his name from what was it, Young J? Lil J. Lil J was his name, and I used to make Jeezy show tapes at my crib before we did that tape. When he would take the show tapes and go to Macon and so forth. But he came to me we went to this restaurant called Harry and Sons. I still go there to this day. And me, Coach, and Jeezy sat in the back, and he was like, "Look, I had just did a Gangsta Grillz party, my first one in Buckhead, and Jeezy was there, and he was like, yo, there's a lot of street niggas in there that you don't even know that fucked with you or fuck what you doing. I want to do this tape, got this vision, here it is." And I was like, okay, cool, it's a mixtape, let's do it. Hence, Streets is Watching came out, and the buzz hit the A. Yeah, it was out of here. The rest is history. I always enjoy what Khaled does because it's motivation, it's inspiration. He's accomplished some incredible things as a DJ, and I look at it like in a positive manner. Me and Khaled and what we are for this era is is what Clue and Flex were for the 90s. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I feel like he's always had his lane. I've always had mine. You know, when people talk about, you know, right now, and when it comes to DJs, you know, you hear Khaled, you hear Drama. You know what I mean? And, you know, it to me, it's awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? To see a DJ have a #1 record on the Billboard charts, or a DJ, you know, get nominated for a Grammy, or, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's always like you, as a DJ, you have to embrace that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for you not to just, it wouldn't make sense, because, you know, he's really accomplished amazing things that opened up a lot of doors for DJs, as I have myself. So, you know, I mean, I think it's more camaraderie than it is competition, you know. But I mean, everybody wants to win a chip, you know. We all work to be the best, to be the greatest, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I said recently on my tape, the Dream Chasers, you know, I said I consider myself a student in the game. You know, a lot of winners before me, a lot of winners after me. You know, but when it comes to these streets, nobody's had a run like mine. You know, and I mean, it took me a while to even be in a position to be able to say something like that. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the mixtape game, I mean, there's been some great things, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a lot of people who accomplished a lot of things before me. You know, but when I think about what my brand means to hip hop and the artists that I've been a part of and what my brand has been a part of, can't nobody see me on that. Me and Canon met as college students, you know, as DJs, loving what we love to do, and, you know, we got to a point where we were getting 6 and 7 figure checks to do albums and to run labels, and, you know, producing big records. And, you know what I mean, one of Don's first placements had Jay-Z on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you know, overnight, some shit we was doing in my bedroom, you know, was the talk of the country. You know, everybody wanted a Gangsta Grillz. So with all that comes, you know, outside, you know, sources, outside people, and just different things that, you know, happen in the game, and it happened to us. I mean, who would, you know, you always wonder, like, or you always think it can never happen to you, but it did. I mean, me and Don were the best of friends, and after the raid, it just became a different situation within our organization. And you know, I mean, clearly, me, Ken, in a sense, built the affiliates. We had, you know, some outside opinions and, you know, people to do other things, and, you know, things happen. So me and Don probably stopped talking for a good year, 2 years, around the time right after the raid. I can't say that I can blame it on the raid, but, you know, I mean, that was a changing moment for a lot of things, including us. You know, a lot of things just were different, you know, just from that experience. And, you know, we were fresh off of being on top of the world, and just, you know, having to figure out our businesses in different senses. And, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, like, I can definitely say I made some mistakes, and, you know, are going separate ways, and he might tell you the same on his end. And, you know what I mean, when we actually wound up being able to sit down and talk years later and go through it, you know, on my end, there were always, you know, I definitely, with respect to him, you know that I didn't want to see it go that way. And, you know, things happen, and everything happens for a reason. But, you know, I know my faults in the situation, and I manned up to him, and, you know, we were able to move on. Quality street music is a term that I coined on Trap or Die with Jeezy's mixtape. Period. Quality street music. Young Jeezy makes it, T.I. makes it, Rick Ross makes it, 50 Cent makes it, I make it, Meek Mill makes it. A lot of people. And, you know, you don't necessarily have to be from the streets. You know, one thing about my brand that was always important to me is I go where I want it to go. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things I wanted to accomplish with this album. It's my 4th project. You know, I definitely, I know for me working on it, I was in a great zone. You know, We In This Bitch was a record that originally was for Third Power, but it sparked, because it didn't make that album, it sparked a moment for me to go in and, you know, create a whole new album. Shout to Marlene Dominguez at E1. We actually had a conversation. You know, I was very excited about putting the record out. And she was like, yo, just chill, hold the record, work. You know, and it was cool. It gave me some time to prepare. My man Lake Show, you know, we've been A&R'ing the record together. Summer Walker. Just really just doing what we do best, coming up with ideas, listening to music, you know, talking about who would sound great over this. You know, coming up with hooks and, you know, just being in the studio vibing out. So it's been very fun, hands-on, and enjoyable, you know, very relaxed. E1 gives me the freedom to, you know, spend the money as I see according. You know, shout to Alan Grumblack. You know, they're very trustworthy of my decisions, as well as, you know, definitely give me their opinion where see fit, you know, and they've had great success. I mean, you know, shit, they did 4 Khaled projects, you know, of course, salute to Khaled, but, you know, they've been down the road of having DJ compilations, so it's not necessarily anything new to them. You know, they have a great radio staff and work closely with people who have come from their regime that, you know, are still some of the best radio staff in the business. And, you know, I'm blessed, man. I mean, you know, it's a record deal. You know, I mean, it's a position to do a 4th album. I mean, you know, as a DJ, you know, I didn't even know if I would make it to 1 album. So to be on my 4th, whether it's Atlantic, whether it's E1, you know, whether it's anywhere, is a blessing. But, you know, they've been very supportive of me. They came on board with my first record, Oh My, when I left Atlantic, and, you know, really helped me get it to where it needed to be as a record. They believed in it. And so they've given me opportunities, so, you know, I'm thankful for that. And, you know, for me, it's always just about working hard and making sure I stay hot and consistent and relevant in these streets. You know, I can't, you know, I'm a very, I like handling a lot of things hands-on with myself and my staff and so forth. So, you know, when it comes to the record labels, I know what they're there for, you know, they always show me love, and I'm always ready to put in the work I need to do. I'm quick to say, yo, you need me to make a phone call? Tell me who to call. Let's do it. Let's get it done.